Hi, I'm Banksy from Metal Roofing Online. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a 100 by 50 downpipe adjustable offset, just like this one I've got here on the table. That's basically the finished product of it, and the part that is adjustable is this part here. These suit a house that's got either a 450mm eave or a 600 eave, the one I'm going to be making today, which is like this one. If your eave's a little bit smaller than that, you can always shorten one side. If you take them apart and just cut them back a little bit, you can always shorten them. If it's a bit longer, and you know, if you've got a 700 or an 800 eave, you'll have to make this part, the middle part, a little bit longer than the one I'm about to make, okay? Okay, let's get started. So you need to work out which is the small end of the downpipe and which is the big end. It's easy with these ones that we supply because they've got a little dimple in the end that's the small end, and there's nothing at the big end down there. So your small end is the one that goes inside your other one there. So that's going to be our smallest cut at the top here. So I know what that measurement is, so I'll get started. We need that approximately 500mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that 490mm and put a mark at 500mm for when I'm cutting this in half, this downpipe. It gives me a bit of space to work with. I find it a bit neater to mark these with a pen rather than a texter because you can be a little bit more accurate. All these marks when you're doing the adjustable downpipe need to be really accurate, and your cuts as well, so that it bends properly. So just take your time with these marks and make sure you get them spot on. Okay, to make things a little bit easier for me, I've got the drop saw set up. You can use a hacksaw if you like. It's not as accurate though. Yeah, I like the drop saw, and then I just tin snip the edges to make them a bit neater afterwards. Okay, so I'm just gonna, now that I've cut that in half, it's obviously a bit rough with the circular saw cuts that I did, so I'm gonna, the pen marks that I previously did, I'm gonna cut along those with my tin snips to neaten it right up. There we go. Okay, so now the important part, we've got to make sure that we get these marks on the right side, because if we bend it the wrong way, then the downpipe's wasted and we have to do another one. So the small end, which is that end there, will be like that. So we're going to bend it so that this part goes into, connects to the downpipe outlet in the guttering. The one that's been made here, I normally make my ones a little bit more than that because you've got to allow for the fascia. Yeah, they've done 120mm there. I usually like to make that about 140mm, so you've got your clearance from the bottom of the gutter to underneath the fascia. So given that that one's 120 on the short side and 160 on the long side, we'll make it 180 on ours on the long side. Okay, so I've got that first crucial mark there. Make sure it's on the right side, which it is. Now I'll square a line all the way around the downpipe. Okay, that all lines up perfectly. Now, this side here is going to be bended up into this side here. So this is going to be our biggest cut here, and then our smaller cut there, because that one's going inside that one. From the center mark, the furthest one is the 40 mil. And the short side, I usually make that 30 mil. Which means that when that bends up, it goes into that side 10 mil. Square a line across there and square a line across there. Now on these sides, I usually leave a little bit so that it laps inside the other one, so that I've got somewhere to put my rivets into. Okay, so I've got that one all marked up perfectly. You can just see these top parts are the crucial marks. So I've gone 30 mil on that side and 40 mil on that side, and then it doesn't really matter on the sides here, as long as you leave enough for your lap. And the same on the back here. I've just left enough for my lap so that I can put my rivets in there. Now I'm going to mark the longer one. Right, so that's the end that I cut. So that's going to be the end that joins into the straight downpipe on the wall, because that's still the small end, you've got to remember. This was the smallest part of the downpipe, which came off of here. So this end's still quite small compared to this end, which is the big end of the downpipe. So that one's going to be going into the straight one on the wall. So the distance we normally make this one here is about 450 mil. So I'll check that one. They've made that 430. I like to make mine about 450. So that's the big end, and that's my cut end. Right, 450 mil. Now this is the back of the downpipe this time, which is different because that one there was cut on the back of the downpipe, but this one we're going to cut on the front of the downpipe. So I'll put my square mark all the way around the downpipe first. And then just like we did on that one, we need to mark our 40 mil and our 30 mil. So this one's going to be bent up like that. So we're 40 mil on this side and 30 mil on this side. And then again, we've just got our laps on the side here. As you can see there, the 40 and the 30 mil mark, and then the laps on the side. Okay, so I'll just cut these with the drop saw, just to start it off because it's a lot easier, and then I'll cut them with my tin snips so that we can bend those up. So I don't want to cut all the way through this. This is actually just to get the downpipe opened up to make it easier for when I use the tin snips. So I'll just cut a little bit into it. Okay, so we've got our cuts that I did with the circular saw. Basically, I just did them right down the centre of those marks, just to get us started so that I can get the tin snips in there. It's a lot easier. And then we've got to cut along these marks really accurately, so just take your time with these marks. Okay, another thing that's quite crucial is these side cuts. When you cut all the way down to the bottom here, you got to make sure you got the correct pair of tin snips in your hand, because remembering that this one's going inside this one, you've got to do it so that the lap ends up on the right side. So with this one, my green snips are the ones to be using there, and I cut all the way down because that lifts this side out a little bit and pushes this side in a little bit. So when I push them together, it laps the correct way for the water flow. And down this side I use my right snips, which lifts this one out and pushes that one in. And as you can see, when I bend it up, the water flow is going to be right. This one goes inside that one, which is perfect like that. And that's how it's going to sit once we've put some rivets in the side of it. So I'll put this one off to one side and I'll just cut this one up. Okay, and that's basically it. That's all the hard part done. So I'll rivet those together now and you'll see the finished product. But yeah, as I said at the start when I was doing those marks, probably the most crucial part is those pen marks at the start there, because if you get those wrong and you start cutting it up wrong, you won't be able to join it together the correct way and you'll have to waste the downpipe and start again on another one. So just make sure you get those marks right at the start there and you'll be fine. I'll just put my glasses on and I'll rivet those together. Usually I put 2 rivets on each side. That makes it quite strong. So one at the top there and one at the bottom, and then the same on this side. It's easier when you've got a table like this to work off that's nice and flat. So you want to make sure that the downpipe's sitting right when you're riveting it together, or it'll be a bit twisted if you don't. Okay, perfect. So this is the small end, which goes into the big end. Which makes it adjustable. So that's basically, when you got the wall there, that's basically, it sits flat against the wall and you put some downpipe clips on it. And depending on how far to the ground it is, depends on how many more downpipes, straight downpipes you need to connect to that. But yeah, as I said at the start, this one suits either a 450 eave or a 600 eave on a house. If you want to shorten it at all, then just pull them apart and just cut it back a little bit. Now, if you've been doing these for a while and you're pretty advanced at them, a lot of the guys do the just a fixed downpipe, so it's not adjustable like this one. But you can run into a few problems when you're doing that, because if you don't get the measurements absolutely spot on when you measure the eave for your downpipe, then you come into problems when you're trying to put it up if it doesn't fit perfectly. So these adjustable ones can be very handy to use. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of our YouTube instructional videos. I'm Darren.
And I'm Lily. We are part of the customer service team here at Metal Roofing Online. If we've been able to bring you any value here today, the greatest compliment you could give us is liking, loving and sharing this video online with everyone you know. Make sure to tag us, as we love hearing from our followers.
If you need any roofing materials, please head across to our website and take a look at the fantastic prices we offer and our huge delivery coverage across Australia. If you have any questions at all, please email or call us, as we would be happy to help you.